Good afternoon, Pats fam. It's your boys DTN and MA football guy, aka DadBod35, here on this beautiful afternoon here on Monday, April 21st, 2025. Hope you guys are having a great day off. As you know, there's a lot of things going on here in New England. We have obviously the Boston Marathon, and in today's video, today's live stream, we're going to be discussing a couple of reports that happened this past week. We got a report that connects to the Patriots and the Jets from ESPN's Matt Miller, and just a couple minutes or a couple hours ago, we got a report from Albert Breer about the Patriots are open to trading down in the NFL draft from pick 90, from pick 4. So how are we doing today, Andy?
We are doing well, Dow. How about you?
Doing good. And I apologize that we were late. Unfortunately, we did have some technical issues, but it doesn't matter. We're just going to get in the grind. We're going to be focusing the two main reports that I really want to get into. And then to conclude this live stream, we will be doing a final mock draft as we are 3 days away from Thursday's day 1 of the 2025 NFL draft. Hopefully you guys are excited. As you know, go ahead.
Yeah, I let me tell you, man, this draft cannot come soon enough. The speculation is killing me. The prognostications are killing me. It's like I don't like having to. It's like, okay, Will Campbell's okay. I don't want Will Campbell. I really want Ted McMillan. Will Abdul Carter fall? Well, you know what, Pats Nation? We're gonna learn all of that in 3 days' time, and let me just give a shout out to my guy, Iron Lungs 865, aka Caleb, who said this draft lead up has not been as fun for him as some previous ones. And I can completely understand that, because more so than previous drafts, there seems to be a diversion of either what people want it for or what people think the Pats should do it for. And in 3 days, we're going to know every last thing. And it's got to get here, man.
To be honest, out of all the drafts we've been doing for like the recent years, I've never been more stressed about this year's draft. Last year's draft, it was like, okay, we know what we're going to be looking towards, but this year, it's a lot more stressful than last year. And I have never been more into this year's draft than last year's. I got to say.
You've got a promising second-year quarterback, a really promising second-year quarterback. You've got a new coaching staff with ties to Foxborough. And you've only got arguably two, maybe 3 blue chip players on your entire roster. And think of our positions of need. We need a left tackle. We need a wide receiver or 2. We need a safety. We need a
edge rusher.
We need a pass rusher, a defensive end. Thank you. It's just, a really only non-position of need is cornerback, and I love me some Hunter Henry, some Austin Hooper. Getting younger at tight end wouldn't hurt. Getting younger at running back wouldn't hurt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
they're not. Arguably, they're not positions of extreme need, though.
Good thing we're talking about the draft, because the 2 reports we're going to be discussing are based on the draft. So
correct.
The first report we're going to be getting into, I'm going to present it here right now, and this is from ESPN's Matt Miller on the Jet Press. So basically, if you've never seen this report, this is the wrong one. This is the simulator we're going to be using later in the stream, but this is the report I really want to get into, because
when did this pop up?
So this was on Friday. I found that out on Connor's channel, aka the NY Flight Jets talk.
Mhm.
Channel. So,
I wished I could have watched that, man. Oh well.
yeah,
Nothing.
I was really intrigued of like the topic or the title of that live stream, and I was like, you know what, I got to get my thoughts into this because I heard that there was some report that the Patriots might screw the Jets again compared to what we did in 2023, where we screwed them from getting Broderick Jones out of Georgia, and we got Christian Gonzalez, and they got Will McDonald out of Iowa State. So yeah, but I'm really intrigued about this topic. So so this is from ESPN's Matt Miller, but this article on the Jet Press was written by Mike Luciano. I've never heard of these people before, but so this is what I learned, and this connects to the Patriots because they say that even after a year where the New York Jets were the laughing stock of the league, true, a New England Patriots team that has somehow even worse could possibly screw things up for Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji by completely altering their 2025 NFL draft plans. Over the last few weeks, there's been a ton of noise connecting New England with Will Campbell. Yes. In addition, a plurality of NFL mock drafts have the Jets using their number 7 pick on one of the two players, Armand Membu and Tyler Warren. Now let's just discuss the final sentence in the first paragraph. So we know that the Jets they need a pass catcher and they need a right tackle, since the loss of Morgan Moses, it really hurt them, and they got Chuks Okorafor in the draft. Not in the draft, in free agency for a 1-year deal. And we know for a fact that he did play right tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers before he joined us, and obviously we miserably screwed him up by having him convert to left tackle, which haven't played since college. So that's the first one. The second one is tight end. Tyler Warren. They do need a tight end because they did lose Tyler Conklin, who was taken by the Chargers for like a 1-year deal, I think. And they also need a wide receiver too, since they do have a wide receiver 1 in Garrett Wilson, but they don't have like a wide receiver 2 since the departure of Davante Adams, which leaves a big gap between Garrett Wilson and whoever the wide receiver core is for the Jets. So I thought it was like really interesting, considering that they do need a right tackle in Armand Membu. They do need it because they do have Olu-Fashanu as a left tackle, and they need a right tackle, and then tight end because their tight end core has been lackluster. And now that you don't have Tyler Conklin, you're now stuck with like, I don't know, Jeremy Rucker, whoever it is. But this is why we need to discuss this, because we're not talking about the Jets. We're talking about like why ESPN's Matt Miller think that the Patriots could take Armand Membu at 4 and how it could screw the Jets. So according to Miller, many within the scouting community believe that Membu could be the first offensive lineman off the board, which could make him a clear and obvious target for the Patriots at number 4 overall. While this wouldn't be destabilizing that Glenn and Muji need to start panicking, it would be a tough one of their top targets in their quest to build an offense to be snatched right out of their hands by their biggest rival, leaving them with a prospect many will consider to be inferior. So the interesting part about Patriots taking Armand Membu, I'm gonna allude to this again.
Okay.
I like Armand Membu, but we have more needs than just like right tackle, because we now have Morgan Moses. We also have Caden Wallace, who could be like your right tackle too, and for development. But the fact that you take Armand Membu, basically, if he fails at left tackle, it will be a failure, because I'm not gonna lie, he is a good tackle, but we want a proven left tackle. I do not want a guy who could like switch over from right tackle to left tackle. Like, name me any right tackle that has played in college at right tackle and then transitioned to left tackle in the NFL.
That's an interesting question because, I love me some Taylor Kyles, and I love me some Taylor Kyles, but oh yeah, he goes, you can switch Membu from right to left. Okay, buddy, give me the evidence. Where is it? You already mentioned what we tried to do with Chukwuesorfor for last year. It was an abysmal failure. And I doubt Mike Vrabel is sitting there saying, I'm going to use this pick to screw the Jets. I hope what he considers is, I'm going to use this number 4 pick to draft the best player available. And I truly believe after that press conference, whom he believes to be the best player available will be anybody's guess. I give it a higher chance that Abdul Carter will fall to us than most, but I mean, Membu is, according to some, the best tackle in the draft, but he is a right tackle, and like you said, we just signed Morgan Moses, so that could potentially, I could see that winding up being a waste of a pick.
Yeah, it's a waste of a pick. Also, we not only tried to do that with Chukwuesorfor, we also tried to do it with Caden Wallace. And Caden Wallace only played right tackle at Penn State, while left tackle you had Olufashinu. So it didn't make sense. I had no idea what the mindset was last year.
We don't have Olufashinu. He's on the Jets.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that Olufashinu played left tackle at Penn State, while Caden Wallace played right tackle at Penn State. But the problem is, we tried. I had no idea what Elliott Wolf mindset was by drafting Caden Wallace, considering the fact that thinking that we need a left tackle, but he just focused on like the need than getting like the best player available. Then again, I did not like the development of Caden Wallace trying to convert him from right tackle to left tackle. If anything, I would have him play right tackle, but then again, we have no idea. We have no idea what Caden Wallace's future is, considering that he came off of an injury, and he's coming off of an injury, and his performance overall has just been miserable.
Well, that's another thing. We got a new staff in town. We got 2 guys named Mike Vrabel and Josh McDaniels. Like I said, both of them have been in Foxborough before. I'm blanking on who our O-line coach is. Oh. Shoot, no.
Oh, Doug Marrone or Scott Peters?
Doug Marrone. Thank you. I knew it was somebody. Thank you, Doug Marrone. It does remain to be seen what they can do with your Landon Robinson, your Cole Strange, your Caden Wallace. But I mean, they can't sugarcoat anything here, man. We need a freaking left tackle.
Oh, we do need
a younger right tackle. Well, actually, no, we have a couple of a younger right tackle or two. The question is, will the new offensive staff utilize him correctly?
Yeah, because you have a veteran in Morgan Moses, but the thing is, he's up in age. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. So, can he like properly develop our young right tackles? And obviously, do not get me started with DeMondre Jacobs, because he was horrible at right tackle. And then obviously Caden Wallace, we have no idea what his season's gonna look like. But we shall see with Morgan Moses, and then have Caden Wallace be in proper development compared to whatever happened last year, which was a complete disaster, since we have a bunch of 1-year general manager. We have a 1-year general manager and a 1-year head coach who never had experience at head coaching or general managing. So now that this year is a complete staff, like you alluded to, we now have a clear idea of what we're going to be expecting out of Elliot Wolf, Ryan Cowden, and Mike Vrabel. So
exactly. And I hope we can, because we've been abysmal on player development the past 3 seasons, 4 seasons, arguably. So, and one of the and I know I sound like a broken record here. One of the key hallmarks of Vrabel is that he's a culture builder, and we haven't had that we haven't had a culture builder here since Tom skipped town.
Yeah, since the departure of Tom, even under the final years of Bill Belichick, it's still not good enough. Like,
no, an embarrassment of a culture. I mean, I had hopes after 21, but that flew out the door when Bill Belichick brought in Matt Patricia and Joe Judge to head the offense. Oh yeah, a second-year quarterback here. Let's bring in specialists on defense and special teams. Bad move, buddy. And that, as we know, well, we don't know. And then we think possibly ruined Mac Jones' NFL career completely.
And then you try to redeem it by bringing in Bill Bryan, and it didn't get better as Mac Jones's confidence went down.
Right. Also, you didn't give him any weapons either.
Yeah.
There's still a mixed opinion as to whether that was mostly on Kraft or mostly on Belichick. You could argue it was on both.
Yeah, it's both. Like, Belichick, he was a horrible general manager, but I also blame it on Robert Kraft for letting Belichick stick around for a little longer. Like, he should have been let go after that 2022 debacle. So I wanted
Belichick gone after 22. I really did. That waited a year too long.
And then I think Edward made a really good point that Mac Jones was good with Josh McDaniels, but
yes, he was.
I also have to blame it on Josh McDaniels as well, considering the fact that both sides between Josh McDaniels and the Patriots, it didn't go well. Like, the Patriots, we tried to bring in 2 coordinators who had never had experience on the offense. And then with Josh McDaniels going to the Raiders, he was as bad as what happened to the Patriots. Like,
McDaniels, that was McDaniels trying to be a head coach.
For the second time.
Right after his stint in Denver, we know how that went too. I mean, yeah, he beat the Patriots, but think about it. Over the past, sad to say, for a former dynasty, beating New England has not been hard in the past 3 years. It just hasn't. And Vrabel, hopefully we got all these new linebackers coming in. Milton Williams is here.
Yeah. We finally have a veteran quarterback rather than what happened in 2022 to 2023, where we didn't bring in a veteran quarterback, even though we did have Brian Hoyer. Unfortunately, he went on IR, but then again, you didn't have like a veteran QB for Mac Jones, and you let him
a veteran wide receiver, or you didn't have the veteran quarterback either. You brought in Bailey Zappi, and that is, let me make a slight digression here, or diversion, either or. Anyway, and we talked about this before, you and I. We don't want Bailey Mack 2.0, and that is why Joe Milton III is now a Dallas Cowboy.
And I like that. Even though we could say many things about, like, if the trade could go either other way, I think it was a great move for the Patriots staff to, like, move on from Joe Williams and Joe Milton, excuse me, and get Joshua Dobbs, which I think it was a great move. I think it's a great move.
And
go ahead.
Moving forward to the draft, are we going to, will the Patriots pull the lever for a late round quarterback, like maybe a Brady Cook, or
Curtis Rourke?
There's been talk of Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame. I don't think either of those guys would be stupid. But obviously, every quarterback I hear this on the NFL Network. What quarterback doesn't want to be a starting quarterback in the NFL? But with our only option now being Josh Dobbs, in case Drake does go down, you probably want that younger guy there.
Yes. So I think we touch on that. So now let's move on to the final report for today before we get into the NFL draft, before we get into the final mock draft,
Which I know you guys are all here for. You want to see a mock draft.
Everybody's been doing their final mock drafts today, so we're willing to do a final mock draft. So I'm not going to be doing a video of it since it would take forever. So that's why I want to do a live stream, just so I can get everybody's raw thoughts. And also, if you really want to chat with us, have your questions or make your statements or your comments, you can do so in the chat, or you can click the link in the pinned comment in the top of the chat to chat with us. So this is a report from Albert Breer saying that the Patriots are open to trading down in the NFL draft from pick number 4.
Interesting. Did that just come out today?
This came out today, like an hour ago.
So it's brandy spanking new.
Like, I'm not surprised that we will trade down if any of the top prospects we wanted have been taken off the board, and that is Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter.
What this might mean, and I might be reading way too much into this, is this could be Vrabel assuming Abdul Carter will be gone and thinking he can trade down to maybe between a 7 and a 9 and get
a Will 10 because we
8 to 10 and get a Will Campbell or a Tyler Warren or a Tyrone McMillan. One of these guys who, and I was listening to NFL Network earlier today, an argument can be made. I would say no more than 4 blue chippers. Some guys are saying as many as 8 still for a single draft class. That's not a lot of guys. Ashton Genty, we can say is probably going to be a top 6 pick.
Yeah. But I don't see it coming to the Patriots, considering of how bad our O-line is. I can see him going to the Raiders since they do have a good O-line and they need a running back. So I could see
the biggest talk of him is going to the Raiders. He also visited the Bears and the Cowboys. Those are the only 3 teams he visited. That does not mean one of those teams will draft him. But it means that it does mean it's like, they were saying it's like, oh Jesus, there was a chance Chicago, if Ben Johnson really has his heart set on Ashton Genty, that he could somehow leapfrog the Raiders at 6 or trade up to 6 and screw the Raiders out of Ashton Genty anyway. That's just
we could trade with the Bears with the number 10 pick, and then we could get whoever is good. We could get at least like a Will Campbell or a Calvin Banks, or maybe go defense. I don't know. These are just
defense down at 10. I mean, he'll probably still be on the board. Go T-Mac there.
Oh yeah, I didn't think about T-Mac. Also, the fact that you mentioned Tyler Warren, I'm not gonna be upset if we could get Tyler Warren. He would be an upgrade at tight end a little bit, considering that Austin Hooper obviously is on a 1-year deal.
We have Jaheim Bell too, as I believe he's either going to be a second or a third year. Let me look that up. He's either going to be a second or a third year guy.
He's a second year, but I don't know how he's going to be utilized, considering he's more of a H-back than a tight end.
Right. But Tyler Warren is versatile. I mean, he's played wide receiver. He's thrown a couple of touchdowns. He's played defense. I mean, the guy is a jack of all trades, and he's the favorite player.
I won't be upset if we get Tyler Warren. He could be.
No, not at all.
Drake May thrived through the tight ends. Guess why our leading receiver was a tight end. And if that's the case, if we get Tyler Warren, I won't be upset. Then again, you still have other holes to fill than just getting the best player available.
If you're gonna talk about the Bears potentially taking Warren to pair with Cole Kmet, you're gonna have to think about the Patriots taking him to pair with Hunter Henry. I mean, because look, that's just the way things are. I mean, New England doesn't need a tight end. Well,
at some point we're going to need a tight end.
Right. At some point, Chicago are going to need a tight end as well because Cole Kmet is getting up there as too.
Anyway, and they lost Gerald Everett.
To whom?
I don't know. I think Gerald Everett is. I gotta look it up because I don't know exactly, but I know that Gerald
Cole Kmet's only 26. Again, he's younger than I thought.
Yeah. Gerald Everett. Oh, he's not. He's not taken anywhere, but he's in free agency right now. So they do need a second tight end to pair with Cole Kmet. But the only team that I can think of Tyler Warren going to is the Jets. That's the other place I think of is the Jets.
Well, and they're at 6. We're not. No, they're not at 6. They're at 7. We don't want to trade with the Jets. Come on, bro.
No, we don't want to trade with the Jets. Then again, it would be fun.
It'd be nice to screw them out of Tyler Warren.
Yeah, then again, but the thing is, the Jets could go either ways. They could either go pass catcher or right tackle. It doesn't matter.
They need both. They sorely need both.
I think Edward makes a really good point here. He said that we need another Gronk and Henry is not it. The thing is, you're not going to there's only one Gronk. It's like there's
right.
But the thing is,
you can't say Tyler Warren is. I mean, Tyler Warren, Gronk is not a fair comparison to make to any tight end just coming into the NFL. He just isn't. It's like, Mac Jones is Tom Brady. Not a fit. And that was, to be honest, that might have kind of broke him. My name is being juxtaposed to the greatest quarterback to ever play. You can't do that.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I don't know
where the
mindset came from, but I just think that's lunacy. That's a hyperbole because there's only one Tom Brady and there's only one Gronkowski, and then obviously Tyler Warren is Tyler Warren. He can do many. He could be like the future of good tight ends, but only Gronk. He's Gronk.
What Patriots fan doesn't have Julian Edelman and their Parthenon of great Patriots? But the sad thing is, you can't say there's truly one of him. There are going to be other Julian Edelmans, but you're not going to have another Gronk or another Brady.
Yeah, but then again, Tyler Warren, he's a good tight end prospect. He did win he was the Big 10 tight end of the year, if I'm not mistaken. And I don't know the name of the award that usually awards tight ends, but I think it's the same one that Hunter Henry got in 2016. I don't know the name of it, but I can briefly look.
Tyler Warren won the Big 10 tight end of the year.
Yes, the Big 10 tight end of the year. Oh, the John
Mackey Award.
Yeah, it's the John Mackey Award. So yeah, I think that I won't be. Then again, I won't be upset if we get Tyler Warren. It's just that you have Hunter and Hooper, but then again, at some point you're gonna have to think about looking at tight end because they're up in age, and we don't know what Jaheim Bell's future is gonna look like. Is he trade up? He might get cut before Bell might get cut before 53-man roster.
53-man roster, that's going to be really interesting to see who winds up on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't even know what Vrabel et al. Think of Jaheim Bell. I mean, we can't make an assumption yet that he'll be here come September or even come training camp.
Because as far as we know, Jaheim Bell racked up only 2 receptions and 20 yards. That's it. Because obviously our main 2 tight ends were Austin Hooper and Hunter Henry. So basically, I didn't think Alex Van Pelt utilized Jaheim Bell properly, but we need to see how Josh McDaniels will utilize Jaheim Bell. That's going to be the big question.
Jaheim Bell had 20 receiving yards in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
No overall grade from PFF. 2 receptions on 3 targets for 20 yards.
These are just unknowns for us right now because we have no idea because we already know Hunter Henry's and Austin Hooper's and what happened last season. They did really well.
Known quantities. Yep. And you could argue that Tyler Warren is more of a known quantity than Jaheim Bell. Well, I know that. Take that back. That sounds really stupid. But Jaheim Bell, my point should have been this: Jaheim Bell, essentially consider him a rookie.
Yeah, because we haven't seen because Jaheim Bell didn't get enough production, and I think that I'm just curious of what Josh McDaniels is going to be, how he's going to be utilizing Jaheim Bell. Is he going to be like a H-back? Is he going to be like what Aaron Hernandez did? As running back, tight receiver. He can go either other way. He could what he did. What did he do at Florida State during his breakout season? I think I lost you, Andy, but
you did? No, you didn't lose me. I'm still here. I just
no, it's just that your screen's frozen for a little bit.
Oh wait, my screen froze again. Shoot. Here we go. Jaheim Bell. Ew.
Oh, never
Shoot.
mind.
Jaheim Bell college stats.
Yeah, Andy. No. After the answer a question, the reason why Andy keeps reading, I think he's looking up something on Safari. I don't know.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I am again. Sorry, Ash. I'll just stay. I know when I go to look something up.
I can look it up if you want, even though my
go ahead. Yeah. Why don't do it up, man?
I can go. Well, let me do it on my computer. It's just better. I got better Wi-Fi on my laptop than my phone. My phone's also been on a fritz too, so you're not the only one. But
my computer was on the. I had that. I had my computer going, and then.
Yeah.
It's not cool. Anyway, here we are.
I can't find any. How many? I just want to look up college stats because that could give me an answer because I can't find his college stats. So he had 90 in 2 seasons. I want to look up okay, so he racked up 39 receptions, 503 yards, and 2 touchdowns. But the question is, are they both I think it's just passing yards.
What season was that?
This was 2023 of Florida State.
Okay, his last season. Okay.
So, but other than that, and obviously he at South Carolina he racked up 95 receptions, 1,260 receiving yards and 9 receiving touchdowns during his 2 seasons in South Carolina. So yeah, that's real. I just think that we haven't seen enough of Bell, and obviously he's too small of a tight. The thing is, he's too small of a tight end. So I think that a good comp for him, I know it's a little bit controversial, is Aaron Hernandez. So we shall see. There's so much uncertainty moving forward with some of the players that we have.
Pardon me. There's still uncertainty around Cole Strange, different position, but you don't know what's going to happen with him.
That concludes the reports discussion, and now let's get into the mock draft that everybody's been waiting for. And
the fun part. Dun dun dun.
So this is the final time we're going to be using the mock draft simulator. So we're going to be using PFN because the other one that Chris suggested, it didn't have kickers. So there's something. So basically, I wanted to find a similar that includes kickers too,
Oh,
because
so you're on PFF. Are you on PFF?
I mean PFN.
PFN. Okay.
Because I know PFF is a little chaotic sometimes, but and I don't have like the full version of the all of the 7 rounds for the PFS mock draft simulator. So we're gonna be using PFN just because I prefer PFN, and we're obviously selecting Patriots 7 rounds. I'm gonna do the slow just so we know what we're getting.
Right.
So Cam Ward, Abdul Carter.
Carter to Cleveland. I can't see it, but we'll see.
Can you see it? Can you see it now?
I said I was saying I don't see Carter going to Cleveland.
That's right. That's right.
No, I can't. I can see the screen. I just have to zoom in. Here we go.
Also, hello, DF. How are we doing, my friend? Okay, so with number 4, so we could go multiple ways. I'm looking to trade. I'm looking to trade back. I don't know.
Who proposed trade? Okay, do it up.
So let's propose the trade with
this.
I'm thinking Saints because they need
Saints. That's the go-to.
And for that, I'm gonna take our 4th. We can take our 9th, 71st, and 2nd.
And a future 2nd. And yeah. Do you want to take something else from us, like maybe?
Because the best thing I could do is just like 4, 9, and 71. I don't know. If Chris is here, he would have like he could do like the math of like, well, how many points that we would earn.
Yeah, he'd pull up a trade value chart.
Trade value.
Just make it simple and see if they'll do this.
Okay, let's just. Oh, I think DF got an answer. If you don't mind, DF, you can join if you want, unless you're busy. But I know that he says that he's also doing. DF is Dwayne is doing the math for like the trade value. So.
Oh, Dwayne. Okay, cool.
So, then again, it wouldn't make sense to trade with the. I'm looking towards like the Saints and the Bears because Saints, they need a quarterback since Derek Carr could potentially go into like surgery with his shoulder, and then the Bears, since I think Ben Johnson does not like DeAndre Swift. That's the bottom line. He does not like DeAndre Swift, so it kind of makes sense.
Which means they could go, which is why people talk about the Bears going gent.
Do a double swap. Okay, so
what exactly is that?
For your 1st and 3rd. So like we trade our 69th and our 4th for their 9th and 71st.
Okay.
Okay, let's try that. Okay, The trade has been accepted. So Saints get Mason Graham. Interesting.
Very interesting.
Johnson. Okay, I'm not surprised Ashton Genty going to the
Raiders. Yep.
Oh my gosh, Will Campbell
to the Jets. Oh jeez.
This is ridiculous.
And now, looky there.
Sorry, DF. He said he meant he said no 1st and 2nd for your 1st and 3rd. Dang it. It's too late, but it's too late.
Tyler Warren is on the board.
Yeah. And Armand Membu's on the board. We have Tet and Tyler Warren that's available.
Do we go Membu? Do we go T-Mac? Do we go Warren? I'd go Warren.
Let's see what Dwayne has to say, because I know he's gonna yell at me because I made one stupid mistake. Let's bring him in. Sorry, Dwayne, I made a mistake with like. Can I hear you, Dwayne?
Yeah, I'm here, guys, just for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
You're supposed to trade your first and third for their first and second on that trade. Basically, you fleeced yourself on that one, but that's okay.
I could redo it if I want.
I would go back and redo that exact same trade, restart and do that exact same trade.
Okay.
So you're giving up at your first and your third for their first and their second.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, now this looks realistic. So propose to trade with the Saints. So I'm taking
your first and third, their first and second.
Okay, so we get two first. Oh, it's been rejected.
So give away your next year's third.
Okay, hold on. Let me try this. So with the Saints, okay, so it's
so your first and third, their first and second,
and
your next year's third,
and my next year's third.
Yeah.
Okay, now so Saints get Will Johnson and does Will Campbell, Ashton Judge, Mason Grant. Okay, so
now essentially we've got to go Warren.
Yeah, because he's like your best player available. Because I don't trust Armand Membu.
I can understand that. I mean, I do trust Armand Membu, but you'd have to move him from right to left potentially, which is stupid.
That's really stupid. But then again, even though tight end may not be our need, it could be our need heading to 2026. So we should get a tight end sooner than later, rather than having to worry about tight end, because our tight ends are up in age.
Right.
And by the way, basically a trade like that, what you're telling the NFL is we're ready to compete for the playoff picture now with all these picks you're getting.
Okay, so let's look into offense. I want to look into offensive tackle. So
take my guy Connor Lee.
Let's go. Okay, Connor Lee off.
Okay, I know it sounds inappropriate. I like a man crush on him.
No, I know. I don't disagree, because I also like Josh Connolly.
He's arguably, he's one of the best tackles in this class. I mean, there's a number of good left tackles in this class.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I'm gonna let's look into edge rusher now, because I think
Landon Jackson. We like Landon Jackson.
I'm a huge fan of Landon Jackson. Out of what?
That's a reach. That's a reach.
Who's a reach?
Landon Jackson's still a reach at this point.
Okay, so let's look into defensive tackle.
Walter Nolan's still on the board. Kenneth Grant's still on the board.
You need a one-tech defensive tackle, don't you guys? Don't you guys need a big defensive tackle?
Yeah, we absolutely do.
Grant. He's 330 pounds, very athletic. Some predicted him to go in the first round.
Yeah.
I know us Buffalo, if we stick at 30 and Grant's there, the Bills might even pick him at 30. So for Grant to fall this far down is a gift.
It's really interesting. Then again, if there's a possibility on Thursday, if the Patriots trade back up to the first round and get I don't know, Kenneth Grant, but I could see Buffalo getting Kenneth Grant, since you alluded to doing that. You really want to get younger at on defense, and you need to strengthen the defensive line, since that's the reason why.
Yeah, you need the nose tackle.
Yeah, the Bills weren't getting home enough, and a lot of that had to do with matchups on that defensive line.
Okay, so let's see.
Marcus Bow to Seattle.
Okay, so we got our 7th pick. So the next position I want to look into is wide receiver.
Trivion Henderson. Oh, no, not before running back. Yeah, okay. Jalen Royals on the board.
Oh, this is not good.
Wait, what?
So your Jack Beck's not on the board anymore. Noel's not on the board. Your guy
got taken. Jeez.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna tap out of here, but I just wanted to help you with that trade real quick.
Okay, thank you,
Dwayne.
Have a great rest of your day.
Appreciate it, Dwayne. Have a good one,
guys. Keep it
fun. Thank you.
So yeah, I think Dwayne. Once again, thank you, Dwayne, for helping me with the trade proposal. At some point, I'm going to have to do it all by my. At some point, I got to know like the general idea of how I'm gonna do these trade proposals because
I know
it's hard. Like,
it's super. I mean, that's why I struggle with Dynasty. I really like understanding player value is very, very difficult for me.
Oh, it's really difficult. Like, yeah, because sometimes you really want to propose these trades, but sometimes you don't get the value that you wanted. But then again, these other teams, they have their needs. But
look at guard or center. Look at center. Fairchild might.
Garrett Wilson's already off the board, so we wish we could have. Let's look at running back. I want to look at running back. Oh,
there's my guy Scatabo.
Yeah. Let's see, Scatabo.
A little early for a quarterback.
I don't want a quarterback.
No,
let's see.
Not now.
Defensive. Oh,
look at corners for fun. Kevin Winston. Safety, right? Kevin Winston.
I don't mind safety considering that.
I don't mind safety either. We kind of, like I said, we need one.
Like let's see. We have save that link, bro. What link? So with safety, it's interesting because Kyle Duggar regress. Jabril Peppers.
Go to Kansas City. Ugh.
Well, there's still other running backs we can look out, but I'm really disappointed with like let's take a look. Let's take a look at wide receiver.
Restrepo and Williams are both still there.
So, but
look at Savion.
Let's take a look at Savion. Yeah, he is functioned as a wide receiver running back hybrid. Interesting.
Very interesting.
But the major issue is consistency. Can be consistent? That's where the okay, solid trade calc minus 15% value to next year's picks. Okay.
Where are you reading that? Where are you reading that?
I'm reading Dwayne's comments.
Oh. Where are they?
Hold on, let me see. Is it solid? Okay, solid trade calc. I'll have to look into that at some point when I do my personal mock drafts, like outside of doing the live stream. But I'm wide receiver. This is interesting.
Very interesting.
I could look into like we could go with Restrepo, but we already have. I don't know if we already have a slot receiver.
Restrepo is really exclusively a slot guy. And we got popped. You want to Xerox a Pop Douglas? Potentially, I wouldn't.
Yeah, we should have traded back up if we wanted to get a wide receiver, but this is not properly planned out because like we already have it. We got our top guy, we got our offensive tackle, we got a defensive tackle, safety. Let's look at edge rusher. Oh gosh,
Tyler Barron. Ugh.
Well,
Sawyer. What? Sawyer's still on the board at 144. I'd take him.
Yeah, but let's see what else. Oh, we still have our 144 pick, but we could always trade up. But let's look at running back. Some of these guys I like Samson.
Ollie Gordon's still on the board. Damian Martinez, Eichel Tootin.
This is where day 3 gets a lot tricky.
Day 3 is going to be weird. Like if either Dylan Sampson or Jack Sawyer falls at that 144, you'd take him.
We can also look into offensive guard, but
Miles Frazier. I do like Miles Frazier.
At guard, but the question is, did he play left guard or right guard? That's the question.
Let me PFF him.
Okay. He's a powerful, versatile offensive line with extensive experience across multiple positions. Primarily
Miles Frazier played. Miles Frazier is a right guard.
And man, we need a left guard. That's
also played 61 snaps last season at right tackle.
Yeah, we need a left guard. This is impossible. Let's see what else we get. There's Alexander still on the board, but then again, we already have our
I mean, do you want to throw? Do we want to take another linebacker? It seems like. No,
it just wouldn't make sense.
No.
We gotta take a wide receiver, but
I'd go take Savion.
Yeah, we have to go our safe pick. At this point, okay, the Chargers went Restrepo, but didn't they get Lapakaki?
They did.
Oh, Isaiah Bond fell that quick, but that's because of legal issues, so it's no surprise.
Right. Sawyer to the Rams. Shit. Sawyer and Sampson back to back. Those are out the window.
Ollie to the Cowboys. Great.
Who?
Ollie Gordon to the Cowboys.
Just what we need.
Let's see what else we could get. RJ Harvey. Let's look at guard. I don't know these.
Kandra is interesting.
Let's just look at everyone. We got David Walker. We got Danny Stutzman. We got Jamari Stutzman. Okay. We already got our safety in Malachi Moore. I think we still got 4 more picks, so we could go anybody. I'm thinking edge. We at this point we need an edge rusher because we don't have an edge rusher, and this guy, he rackled 31 sacks and 63 tackles for a loss in 3 seasons with no accident. I'm getting him. David Walker out of Central Arkansas. Since we desperately need I wouldn't say desperately, but we need an edge. I'm monitoring some of the other guys. Let's just hope Nana not taken off the board.
Oh, look at David Walker's PFF grade in 2024 was a 94.6. Bro's a fucking monster.
No kidding. You know what? Let's get Monongnai because he's a bowling.
I've got to put. I wish I could. Yeah.
Wait.
I'm gonna send you this in the Discord.
Wait, David Walker was a 93?
90.
90. Oh my gosh. You got the information
For him to fall there is a steal. Do I have the what?
Oh, a 94.6. Oh my word, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's a steal. Like I know that he was, well, especially coming out of an FCS school. That's insane. Like I would rather focus on. Sometimes I focus on stats, but the fact that he's
No,
okay.
You doubled up. We actually we hadn't taken a defensive end yet. Yeah, he's a stud.
I think I want to go running back now. Cal Manana, he's the best thing I can go for. Let's see what we can also look into. I'll look at center later, but for now, let's just get our running back.
Okay, you want to go the running back? Fine.
Yeah, because we don't know. Because I like.
Who'd you get RB?
What's that?
Who was your guy?
Kyle Monogny out of Rutgers.
Oh, Monogny. Okay, yep. That's right. You love him.
Yeah, just because I know Rob Housecall loves Kyle Monogny. He thought he was like a bowling ball, so I was like, if your guy's a bowling ball, you gotta get him.
Right.
Okay, so we got 2 more picks, and our next pick is at 217. Or no. We trade that pick to the Cowboys. That's right. Okay, so let's look into center.
Oh, the Giants took LaKent Allen. Crud. Oh, you just got your running back anyway, so that really doesn't matter. But look at center.
You got Jacob
Gideon's definitely interesting.
So he needs to work on his athleticism for more dynamic offenses and refine his hand placement techniques to handle defensive counters more effectively. His experience and leadership makes him a solid candidate. I would get him because Mike Vrabel wants leaders. So if the fact that this guy is a leader, I would take leaders.
You want a leader on the O-line, man.
Yeah, you lost a leader in David Andrews. So.
Correct. Tit for tat on Luke Lachey. Did we not take a tight? No, we did. We took Tyler Warren, Derper-Rama.
Yeah, let's take a look at let's monitor guard. Let's see if Lampkin's off. No, let's get him.
Willie Lampkin. Oh, nice, out of North Carolina. Cooper Mays. Take a look at Cooper Mays too.
He's playing experience. He excels at control and pass protection, but a struggle with power rushers.
That might be a little rich.
Yeah, let's get. Even though Willie Lampkin, he's kind of small for offensive guard. I don't mind him as long as he's like technically good, like mechanically good. I'm all in for it. Like we need a guard. We need a left guard. So basically, we got one of each position. We got our tight end. We got our best player. We got a left tackle. We got a defensive tackle. We got a safety. We got a wide receiver.
Safety, wide receiver, defensive end, running back. Yeah, we hit pretty much everything.
Yeah. Even though like we didn't need a tight end. At least he's like your best player available, and
exactly. Yeah.
Potentially, we're going to have to get a tight end at some point.
Yeah, I'm going to have to read into because that if that's from Greer and it's new, the possibility of us trading down. Oh, that's super interesting.
Okay, I think Dwayne wants to rejoin, but I see the okay. So I see the link. I'll bookmark it so I know how to like. Okay, I'll bookmark it so like if I want to do a future draft, I can do a. Okay, so I got that. So I got that taken care of because I initially I thought I saw Dwayne in the backstage, but I think he sent me in a private chat that he sent me the link to the what is it the NFL draft pick value calculator. So that's really cool. So like if I can like select one pick and then try to trade it with another, it's good to do a little bit of practicing just so that we have this general idea of who and what we wanted to trade for. I think that's really good.
It is really good.
Okay, I think that's it. I think that's it for today. Unless anybody,
I'd call it a day, unless you want to say,
unless we can get some calls in the chat. But
you want to say we can save AJ Brown for another chat.
Yeah, let's say it's confirmed from Adam Schefter that Eagles are not going to be trading AJ Brown, so that's a foregone. So that sucks. But I'm not surprised that Eagles do not want to trade him, considering that he did win a Super Bowl, and the fact that if you take away AJ Brown, you're left with Devontae Smith. But Devontae Smith proven from time to time again he could be your wide receiver one. That's the thing. But yeah, I think we covered everything for today. Thank you to everybody for joining. And if you want to see some of MA Football Guys content, I will put that in the link in the description down below. And as always,
DTN.
Thank you, Andy, for joining me as always. If you
No worries.
If you want to see more content like this, I would recommend you subscribe. It's pretty free to support the channel. And little heads up, in 3 days, I will be live on Colby's channel doing a watch party on his channel at Patriots Global. So that's really awesome. I'm excited to hang out with some of with his Patreon members and some of our friends on Patriots Global. So I am really excited for that. Wait, go ahead.
It's gonna be an interesting draft. I think it's gonna be a really interesting draft. I mean, Shedeur Sanders, and is he even the second quarterback off the board? I know that doesn't. Well, it does concern the Patriots in terms of whether Abdul Carter falls, but yeah, the top 10 picks in this draft are gonna be. You don't know, man. It's really it is an unpredictable draft. It is a weird draft.
Oh, it's going to be unpredictable for sure, but we already know where number one pick is, and it's
in 99.9%, it's going to be.
Well, yes, 99.99%, but we shall see. But thank you as always, and until next time, go Pats.
Go Pats, go. Peace.
That was the